Wish Paul Turner was there.
Then it wouldn't have happened.
Then it wouldn't have happened. It would have been embarrassed.
No one would have canceled.
There was no yelling at the meeting because Paul Turner was there. Paul Turner.
Such a jerk.
When we have Paul Turner at the meetings, no one gets yelled at.
Yeah, why don't you record one of those yelling sessions and play it back on the air?
Be my guest.
Good idea.
Believe me, I wish that then you could listen to him and maybe learn something finally after 10 years.
I wish you could listen to him and see how embarrassing it is for everyone involved.
Yeah, well, you know what? If some people did their jobs around here, Gary, maybe I wouldn't have to yell. Like, maybe I wouldn't have to lay awake at night wondering if you guys follow what I tell you to do.
Right, because, you know, we all sit in lounge chairs drinking big margaritas around here.
No, we all get on our computers only 3 days a week at home and don't replicate and don't read the memos.
Well, we all don't have the money to go out and buy brand new computers.
You've got a computer at home, Gary.
That's right, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. My computer.
Your computer hasn't worked this week?
No, my computer works fine for everything except Lotus Notes.
Good. Well, maybe for your future job, you better get on a good computer.
Is that some sort of a threat?
Yes.
Just curious.
That's a threat.
Okay, take it as one.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Is that a threat?
But he doesn't even know when a threat is made. This is my problem with him.
Hold on, I'm looking up threats.
He's the producer of the show who has to read memos, and he can't read the memos.
All he had to do was sit back there and be quiet and keep his hand off that button.
Yeah, he can't do it, though.
Can't do it, Robin. It's not him, it's you. You can listen to him day in and day out. It's your voice.
I didn't say a word. We were doing the news. All of a sudden, you break in.
Hey, Gary.
What, did you make the Paul Turner joke for the 50th time? Drop dead, both of you.
Oh.
Hey, Gary, maybe you ought to get Paul Turner in here. I won't yell at you.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I'm not being funny. I don't like to yell in front of him.
Serious.
You better bring him in here. Maybe then he won't get yelled at.
Yeah, maybe.
You have no idea how embarrassing it is for me when I look for a bit and it's not here because you guys decide on your own that you're not going to produce it.
Why don't you talk about the 100 times?
You think that is embarrassing? I don't care about the 100 times.
No, what do you say about the 100 times you look for bits and you can't find them and you scream like a maniac when they're right in front of you under your papers?
Hey, Gary, you can always take over the show in 3 years when I retire.
I'm not looking to take over
We'll
the show.
see you do it.
I'm not looking to take over the show. I just don't think it's fair to be yelled at in front of people and emasculated.
Well, then do your job and it won't happen.
Okay, I'll start trying to do a better job.
There's got to be a better way to get back than to yell at them through a puppet.
You know, if Paul Turner was here, I wouldn't be doing any of this.
We need a Paul Turner puppet.
What a read on that situation. We even knew Paul Turner was in the room.
Yeah, it would be so hard to tell, Howard. He was sitting right next to you.
Yeah, I wasn't busy looking at him.
I guess I was.
Baba Booey. Yes. Because, Gary, that was one of the weeks where you didn't have to be yelled at because you did your job.
Yeah, so far I'm 2 for 8.
Good. Keep
2 weeks
rolling.
not yelled at and 8 weeks getting yelled at.
You could always go to another radio show or perhaps a TV show.
I'm not unhappy here. I just wouldn't like to be yelled at. I didn't say I was unhappy.
Well, do your job. You won't get yelled at.
Sometimes I don't know what my job is, Howard. It changes on a daily basis. The parameters grow.
No, the job is the same. And by the way, no day will ever be the same. Have you not realized that?
I didn't say it has to be the same, but there has to be some consistency.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll work on that. We'll make it consistent for you.
Yeah, you've got your assignment.
No, I have my assignment. Make Gary's job
I would
consistent.
never dream of assigning you anything.
Gary, why don't we do the same radio show every day with the same guests and the same jokes, and then everything would be consistent?
You can reduce it to that, but you know it's more than that.
You know what Gary's favorite movie is? Groundhog Day. He wakes up every day and his job's the same.
It's the same day.
Gary, you can have it. It's called working in the post office.
I know what to do today.
I know what to do today. I got to sort the mail.
1171.
Time to make the donut.
Time to make a donut. Where was it? His dad working an ice cream store. Yeah, today I'm going to get ice cream. That's what you call having a job where everything is the same every day.
Stir the vanilla.
Jack, you just shut up.
Stir the chocolate.
No, wait a second. I used the wrong spoon. I used my chocolate spoon for my vanilla.
Oh,
Howard, you know as well as I do. I mean, listen, if you want to crack jokes, but you know as well as I do that even though the show's different on a daily basis, there are certain constants and things
like
that we
what?
can work on and we don't.
Okay, like what?
Like the notes that I write for you on the guest, you could look at and respond to me in some way so I'd have...
How many times have I told you that I've read the Drew Carey notes to just put them in bullet points? He hands me today. Today he hands me...
Hold on a second. Why don't you let me
Drew
respond?
Carey's coming in.
Why don't you let me respond?
He hands me on the air a book of notes. It's unbelievable. And I said, well, Gary, what am I going to do, read while Drew Carey's here? He goes, well, I thought you were supposed to read through the notes. I said, I did, but now that I'm on the air, I can't sit and read on the air.
Read through them and tell me what you like about them.
I told you I liked them. I said, final copy, they're good. Just make them into questions.
every note that was
He hands me the Constitution of the United States and says, "Here, go interview Drew Carey."
These are people of the House.
The OJ transcript.
Yeah, and I mean, there might be something good in those notes, but go try and sift through them inside of 3 seconds. And I got Tom telling me to read 30 live commercials. Here's some notes for Drew Carey. Please give them to me. At least give them to me at the beginning of the show. I do. I'm just telling you, I read them when you send them to me, but I can't commit them to memory.
But you don't.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, it was better yelling.
No, get back on the box. I won't talk to you this way. No, get back on the box.
I don't want to.
All right, I'll turn off your mic. All right, you're out. All right, Robin, finish the news.
Now he's going to run from mic to mic.
Your mic is in the other room.
He needs the exercise.
He does. He's so fat.
My God, man.
He's now wearing like a tent. He's got a shirt on today.
He handed it down to me. You don't always read the notes.
I do. What notes haven't I read, Gar?
And what would be the big deal, Howard?
What notes haven't I read, Gar?
And Howard, if I give you something at the beginning of the show,
okay,
you can't be interested in it. It's not a bad thing, but you're very busy.
All right, if you hand me a basket full of notes the size of the United States Constitution,
but Howard, why can't you?
The second Drew Carey comes in, I am telling you, don't ask me why can't I. I'm telling you I can't absorb all of those notes in one shot. I'm telling you my needs.
But I give you stuff in the beginning of the show, and then you don't look at it.
I told you I look at it the night before. I want it in question form. Why is that hard for you to understand?
Because so everything that's in the notes, forget about the Drew Carey notes.
He doesn't care. He doesn't want to listen.
Yes, I read them. Yes, I read them.
Shut up, you bastard. Shut the crap out of you.
Here's what you do, Gar, okay? How about this? I'll spell it out for you.
I'll turn the radio off.
I'm going to do your job for you, okay? You ask me a question, I'll give you the answer, because I don't want to bore the audience.
Can't hear you.
All right. Here's what you do. You have a paragraph of information, leave it there. On top, put the question, and in yellow highlighter, put the question. If I want to read deeper into it, I will. Oh, there's a system. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. He won't do it. And then he says to me, why can't you take these pile of notes and do something with them?
Why are we having this discussion on the air?
I don't know.
This is an entertainment show.
There's nothing entertaining going on here.
Dealing with the inner workings of the show on the air.
These guys get upset when I yell because here's what I do. I'm a stupid guy. I've got about 10 people working on this show. Gary tells me there's not enough people working on the show. All right? Because Gary's busy. He's on the phone with appearances. I got a part-time producer. I got everybody's in show business on this show, okay? So he's got his charities. He's got his charities. He's got his. He's on the phone, wheeling and dealing all day. He logs onto his notes a couple of times a week, and I tell him what I need. I tell Scott, the engineer. I say, "Hey, Scott, here's what I need. I need a bit this morning." No, I'm not talking.
Just stop being funny.
No, that's right. I say to Scott, the engineer, "I need a bit. Can you bring it in here this morning?" Gary gives it to him. Scott forgets about it. Gary forgets about it. They decide not to give it to me. So Gary gets upset because I yell. Well, I think I have a right to yell. I work hard on this material. Howard, coming up with it. I was up at night getting Kathy and getting some interns to run out on the street to do a bit.
A lot of work went into it to create it, and then it didn't get played.
You should have been angrier than I am. This is why I'm really mad at you. You should have been angrier than I am.
I was angry.
I shouldn't have been the one that even had to yell in that meeting.
I started to. You just take over.
Yeah, well, you're not getting through to Scott.
Howard, if you can't be in a meeting where you can't yell, you ain't happy.
Well, I shouldn't be yelling.
We all agree that.
A real producer yells for me.
He left very unhappy.
My point is,
and whenever
did I yell to Scott in front of everyone?
Yeah.
Damn right I did. Because you want to know something? He wasn't doing what I asked him to do.
Can I just tell you something? While
Gary is another guy.
As long as we're going to be open and honest about stuff, you know what the most insulting part of the day for me was?
Yes.
Was that you do that to me all the time. I mean,
right.
You really let me have it, right?
That's right.
And then you just go home. It's no big deal.
Right.
You actually walk back and apologize to this guy. Yeah, gee, I'm sorry I came down a little hard on you.
That's right.
What am I?
That's right.
What am I, like the orphan here?
Yeah. You
would talk to me like that and never blink another eye.
Scott has the saddest life I've ever seen out of any human being.
Well, I'm working on catching
Scott might be as sad as they come. All right?
So that's a good thing. He doesn't feel as sorry for you.
I don't feel sorry for you.
I know that.
All right? Scott is pathetic. But he's also very talented. I hold out some hope for him.
And me?
I don't know. The thought is still ruminating in my mind that you might not have any hope.
13 years it's been ruminating.
Yes, I'm bringing you along. I'm trying.
I just started my 14th year last week. That's some thought in there.
He's working on it.
We'll see.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well, maybe the next meeting you and Scott will bring in Paul Turner, and you'll be safe.
We'll bring in these other people. I'm sure you'll yell at me on purpose.
No, we're not. And then if I don't yell at him, he goes, well, there was a meeting where you didn't yell because Paul Turner was there. No, because you did fine.
No, I actually made a mistake in that meeting, and you handled it fine. There was something
Gary, you're allowed to make mistakes.
I am?
But you can't be a part-time producer.
And I'm not. What makes you? Where do you think I'm a part-time producer?
You have to be logged on to Lotus Notes every night. You have to be logged onto your computer every night, and even Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah,
and I do. I go in, but it's.
No, you don't.
I the problem.
I told you what you do. You download about 161 messages in one shot. I have a database I look at to see who logs in.
Howard, it's because of the problems I have.
Fred logs on about 900 times a day. Jackie logs on 900 times a day.
Howard, it's because of the problem. I'm having it fixed, but
no, your computer was fixed. Your computer was fixed.
Not fixed. You want to come and watch how it works? Why don't you ask Freddie about it? Ask Freddie about how it works on a Mac.
Your computer is fixed this week, and you've only logged on 3 times.
It's not fixed. My computer is not fixed.
Your computer is fixed.
It is not fixed.
What's wrong with it?
You do not understand.
What is wrong with it?
That program.
What is wrong with your computer this week? This past week that you logged in 3 times?
It's not this past week. It's been the past 4 months.
I understand. What about this past week?
I'm telling you.
Was your computer working this past week?
It works very, very, very slowly.
Okay.
So slowly that by the time I finish my dinner and put my kid to bed at 9 o'clock, it'll take me 25 minutes to replicate, and sometimes as much as 2 minutes to open up one single note.
Because you replicate 161 messages.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah,
That's not what
whatever.
It's about.
I'm telling you, I watch your activity.
But one has nothing to do with the other.
As soon as I can keep my eye on you, I know what you're up to.
You are. You're like
Nonsense.
You're like a scary human.
That's right. I know what you're doing. I'm wise to you.
But it doesn't matter. One has nothing to do with the other.
Okay.
That's your little Nazi you have out at the house.
Okay. Who's that?
You know who.
That has nothing to do with her. I have a database that makes me watch.
Open up my notes.
No, I have a readout of who logs on when. And don't call anybody a Nazi because they do their job. You know, whoever catches Gary is a Nazi.
He just digs his hole deeper.
He digs his hole deeper. Anybody who does their job is a Nazi.
It was almost over. You now fuel your own.
I don't even hear you.
I know you don't, but I'm not even helping.
How long have we been on Lotus Notes? Year and a half?
Yeah.
At what point will Robin be joining us?
I don't need Robin on there.
Sure we do.
I need you on there.
No, sure we do. But
what do I need her on there for?
Because it's a whole creative thing. It's a team. We're all involved in different things.
You, Jackie, and Fred, and Kathy have to be on there. No one else.
It wouldn't be nice, though.
It'd be wonderful if she was on there, but I don't need her to be on there.
But I still wouldn't be on the whole thing anyway.
Most of the stuff I don't even want her knowing about. You don't know that?
I know that.
Okay. Go ahead. Go back to your hole.
No.
Come on. Unbelievable that you don't know that. What's the matter with you?
Now go to the call where people say they could do the job better than me.
Scott, you're on the air. Hi, what's up?
Scott, king of all drunks. I'm bombed 24 hours a day. I even got an IV bottle here so I can drink while I sleep. My VCR is programmed to record the E! Show every night, and I wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, listen to the whole show, and tape that too. This guy's got to be a real moron. He can't do the job.
He's right. He's right. And he don't like being yelled at, and anyone who does their job is a Nazi, and people are watching him.
Yeah.
Oh, my. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful description of somebody.
No, you're quite welcome.
It's a Nazi. You're a Nazi out there. Nazi. Everyone's a Nazi. Anybody who does their job is a Nazi. That's what I love.
Keep going.
Let's see who else we got.
Hey, Howard. Good morning.
Yes.
I got a little story to tell you.
You know, I gotta go. I can't take it here. I forget it. It's fine. I came to some conclusions. Go ahead, Robin. Finish the news, please.
Thank you.
Yes.
Former presidential candidate, or vice presidential candidate, Geraldine Ferraro is considering a run for the Senate seat, the U.S. Senate seat representing New York against Senator Alphonse D'Amato, who is expected to run for re-election next year, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, Ferraro, they have been polling people, and it seems that she holds a 54% to 36% lead in the polls over Alphonse D'Amato. They are saying right now that she would win if they ran against each other.
Never would she win.
It's always funny what these polls say before the actual election, because they also say that Mark Green would beat Senator Alphonse D'Amato, and he's never managed to do that in a real election.
Gary would be a good campaign manager for Geraldine Ferraro.
You would
Maybe
like to hook them
if
up?
she's looking for a campaign manager, a highly organized individual. Perfect.
The IRS is throwing in the towel.
You know, I had no problem with him until he started in with me just now.
This is what I'm saying. This was something that didn't have to happen.
No, he always digs his own grave.
He created it himself.
He always digs a hole for himself. I had no problem with him.
And then it was about to go away, and then he had to get on the squawk box.
I know.
And then it was going away, and then he had to come in.
You cause your own problems.
You were just laughing.
I had no problem with you. I had no problem with you.
Fun.
I just sat back here, and I Robin's doing the D'Amato story, and
I had no problem with you.
I said, cool, they're back in the news, and
you have yet to realize you're my producer. You're my management. You got to be the one yelling at people. You got to be the one taking charge. You're not the guy who sits there and calls people Nazis. Those are the people who are supposed to be helping you.
It doesn't always turn out that way.
All right. Well,
we also should all be working as a team.
Well, here's the woman you called the Nazi. Hi, Laura. Hi, Laura.
Well, first of all, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I didn't name any names.
We know exactly who you mean.
How do we know that?
Who works for me out here?
4 people.
What is that?
I'm suing for defamation of character.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
And I don't want to be called a Nazi.
I'm sorry.
He apologizes.
Is he apologizing through the puppet or on his knees?
On his knees. Well, I like that he thinks that. Well, by the way, he had nothing to do with this, whether you think so or not.
You looked at it. You're the one that brought it up.
I called Laura. I said, am I reading this database correctly? I said, I'm seeing this guy logged on 17 times. This guy logged on 27 times. My producer logged on 3 times.
But Larry always thinks I have something in for him.
I know. Why would she doesn't work with you. She doesn't work with you. She doesn't even know what you're doing.
He's always had this complex. He thinks everybody's against him.
Everyone's against him. He thinks I'm against them.
No, I don't think Freddie's against me. I don't think Jackie's against me.
Yeah, well, of course not, because you align yourself with...
I'm against you, and I do nothing to...
Laura, if you want...
Why is he against her? Why is she against you?
She's not against
She's never once even brought your name up to me.
That's right.
That's true.
No, I'm saying that's right. She's never brought it up.
She hasn't. She doesn't even know what you do. She's not here all day, Gary. She doesn't know what you do.
Okay.
Stop being paranoid.
And I want to say something else.
Thank you.
Lotus Notes works on everybody's computer that I know.
Not true. Not true. Ask Einziger and Freddie and Fred and John.
No problem here there. But if you're not replicating for days and days, if you're replicating 300-400 pieces of mail, it's going to take a long time.
Of course.
No, it's not about replicating. It's about opening up your database. This is a dumb conversation to have for
No, it's not. We'll have it.
But it's about opening up your database and opening up a piece of mail, even if you replicate every night. But you don't. But even if you did, it wouldn't matter because I do replicate a bunch of days in a row.
Well, how could you not replicate every night?
And you can't open up your mail. It just takes a long time.
You replicate on a Sunday night. How can you know what's going on?
Howard, you don't, it's like talking with dice. You don't talk to somebody.
All right.
You don't want to hear me.
I'm hearing you. You're saying it doesn't work. I'm telling you it does.
I'm telling you that if you came to my house and I downloaded 50 notes, say 50, for argument's sake, to open up one database
now I have to go to his house.
Takes a long time. But you don't want to listen.
You want me to go to your house and solve your problem?
As soon as I start to make a little sense, you just make a joke or go off into another direction.
All right, whatever. I don't know. If I was the producer of the show, I would solve the problem.
You don't want to hear it.
Find a way to solve it.
I have found a way to solve it. I'm getting a new computer on the 28th.
Way to go.
Is it a PC or an Apple?
It's an Apple, and that is the computer that my wife works with.
All right, whatever.
All right.
What about your work?
I got to go back to do my job.
He does whatever his wife tells him to do. All right.
She shouldn't work.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Laura.
All right.
Get over it. I'm sorry I called you a Nazi. I'm incredibly sorry to everyone involved.
All right.
Except Robin.
All right. Very good. You did great. Distinguish yourself today.
Attacking people who haven't done anything.
The woman has never said a word to me about Gary.
Yeah.
That's true.
He still doesn't believe you.
I think everybody on the show talks about everybody sooner or later.
Okay, whatever.
Well, just because you're talking about everybody doesn't mean everybody else is doing it.
I have never talked about Fred.
Robin, let's get a camera on you during a commercial talking about everybody. But let's go back to the news.
I do my job during the commercial.
And that's my job.
I'm around here not talking to anybody.
All right, this is ridiculous. Let's end it.
Go, because you keep doing it.
You keep distracting your ball.
I want to start the new story.
All right, go ahead. Go into your office and do whatever it is you do.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Go replicate. You find an apple because his wife's work. That dopey work.
So they already already have an Apple. Let her have that.
Let her have that Apple and buy yourself a new computer. Why are you buying another Apple?
Because I don't have room for 2 computers in my house.
You don't?
No.
How do you have room for a treadmill?
I put it against the wall. It lifts up.
So why don't you put the PC instead of the treadmill? Then you'll be able to do your job. You know you're not going to use the treadmill.
Hasn't been effective since.
That's more likely you'll use.
Jackie, you get fatter by the day. How do you keep making fat jokes? You put on a bra.
Come on over, babe.
I did, and it was close.
You eclipsed me.
Eclipsed me.
The guys in the East room said they couldn't believe you stood up next to me.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Maybe they
listen, this is a discussion for off the air. I do not want to have this on the air.
Really?
I really don't.
Then why'd you decide that now?
Because you put my back up against the wall. You're telling me I'm a Nazi? You're telling me...
I didn't say you were a Nazi.
Oh, you're saying Laura's a Nazi? You're saying that Scott's
do we all agree that we're done?
I only yell when they're guests.
Do we all agree that we're done?
Did you have 3 donuts today or not?
5.
Did you really?
Hell yeah.
So what do you got a treadmill for? Get a computer so you can do your work.
Or put the donuts on the treadmill. You're welcome.
Yeah, really?
5, baby. And I ain't done yet.
You're out of control.
That's 3 that those Nazis in the office saw.
Right. All right, go back and have fun. Go ahead, you're having a good life. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
The acting commissioner of the IRS appeared before a Senate panel looking into IRS irregularities yesterday and made a contrite apology for wrongdoing and promised new programs. Is that going to just let them off the hook? They've been torturing people and ruining their lives, and now they say, oh, I'm sorry, we'll do better. Let us take care of it.
I don't know, Robin. I don't know the answer to that.
That's a fine thing.
I'm still working on Gary's computer. Why he bought another Apple? The whole company's almost out of business.
Don't try to get into his head.
My wife's work.
My wife is allowed to work.
I don't stop your wife from working. Give her that old junky computer. The one she made you buy in the first place.
Is it Apple?
He's so proud of it. Now again he won't be able to do his work.
When do we get to be done?
He bought another Apple.
Gary, if you'd be quiet, we wouldn't have material.
He's telling me the Apple was no good.
Yeah.
And now he bought another Apple.
My Apple takes forever to download, so I went and got
an Apple.
I solved the problem. Oh, good. You solved the problem. What'd you do? I bought an Apple.
We don't have room for 2 computers.
I got rid of my Apple.
You got room for a treadmill? Oh.
That's because the treadmill lifts up, and I'm not going to use it.
If it was my job, I'd make some room for it.
Oh, boy.
I don't think he realizes he needs the computer at home.
You're going to spend time.
Okay, I'm fascinated by my producer. I'm sorry. I'm just fascinated by the thinking that goes on. I'm not there to think for him. He went and bought another Apple. I'm sorry. I'm totally distracted now.
If you come to my house,
you would see.
Robin, let me just ask you a question. Could you sit in here while Howard and I sat there and goofed on you and shut up? Could you do that?
And there's that Nazi calling from your house.
Yeah, the Nazi.
Just answer the question.
Well, you know, Apple has good video games. A Princess of Persia.
There you go.
Save the princess.
If the Apple Corporation goes under, well, what will my excuse be?
Oh, let's go on. Parker Stevens and Kirstie Alley are getting a divorce, Howard, and he wants $75,000.
Everybody was telling me I should replay that argument I had with Gary on Friday. At the end of the show, I got into this big fight with Gary.
A lot of people told me that was just the most wonderful radio they had heard in some time.
I know, and I was like, you're kidding, that was good? I never know what's good.
I get so many comments on it. People were like, people came up to me and said, hey, man, I think you won. And I didn't think it was a win-lose fight.
Yeah, I don't think you can win.
And it was just sort of me saying how I felt and you saying how I felt, but I wasn't, like, trying to win anything.
Right.
Although...
the only thing that bothered me about the whole fight was when you said...
I know.
What?
Well, what are you going to say?
I bet you don't even know. The only thing that bothered me out of the whole fight, because Gary and I got into a really yelling match and stuff, the only thing that bothered me was when you said that that your computer doesn't work with Lotus Notes.
Right.
Because you have an Apple computer.
Well, no. It's
and
not
then
because
you went out and bought another Apple.
No.
I mean, that drove me crazy all weekend. I was almost going to pick up the phone like 3 times and call you and yell at you.
And what would you have said?
I would have said, Gare, as far as I know, you make a lot more money than your wife. Your job's a little more important. You already have an Apple with her program on it. Why don't you buy a computer so that you can do your work at home?
But, and here's the funny thing, and I know what you're going to say, but like a lot of companies, what they would do is they provide their employees with a computer. In other words, I have no
What company does that?
Oh, God, Kodak. My buddy works for Kodak.
Kodak? You think I'm Kodak?
No, but it's not you. It's this company. In other words,
Gary, get real.
No, but hold on, listen. I have a computer at home that works perfectly fine.
Gary keeps saying, this is the other thing. Gary keeps saying he wants, people to pay for his computer and stuff like that. And it's like, well, dude, this is one of the tools you need.
But I have that tool. It's just what you're asking me to use.
But you went out and bought a new computer, and you bought one that isn't that compatible.
Well, no, they're saying that it should be able to work. It's an upgraded computer, substantially upgraded, state of the art.
As far as I know, Lotus works with Apple.
Right. Some of the older Apples, it's slow on.
Oh, and it's slow, but it worked.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it's so slow that it's almost prohibitive to use.
Oh, well, that's because you have a slow old computer.
It's not that slow and it's not that old.
You just said you had an old computer.
Well, they're telling me that it's... In other words, a 4-year-old computer they're saying is slow and old, yet my wife uses it for computer graphic works and has no problem with it.
Right.
The only thing that doesn't work correctly on it is Lotus Notes.
Oh, so now so that's why I would have bought a different computer.
Well, I have that option. In other words, I do have the option to get another computer. If this doesn't work, then I'll just get a regular IBM.
Yeah, why didn't you just get...
But don't they ever want to do work at the same time?
No, not really. I usually would use it at night. She uses it during the day.
Okay.
All right. Well, why don't you just keep your other computer with your wife's work and use your new computer and get a computer that, works for you?
Well, it just seemed ridiculous to get 2 different computers. Do you know what I mean?
No. I've got like 10, so don't say that's me.
But you're a different guy.
I guess I am. I don't know.
There's a lot of Howard, there's still a lot of people...
I don't want my wife on my computer.
There's still a lot of people in this world that don't have one.
But you have 2. All right, forget it. You're not following me. I know there's a lot of people who don't have any, but
Wait a minute. Where's the other one going?
But Gary's always making it seem like he doesn't make any money and stuff, but then he'll go out and buy cartoon art.
But where is the other one going? He's getting a new computer. He's got the other one.
Yeah, what are you doing with the old computer?
We're going to get rid of it.
Why?
Well, they'll take the hard drive and they'll turn it into an external hard drive and the rest of it,
Really?
I'm keeping the printer, I'm keeping the monitor, I'm just getting a new hard drive.
Oh, okay. It's just that the computer is a tool you need for your work.
Right.
It's just like I don't buy you pens at home.
But this is different.
Why? Why is it different?
This is where you and I...
Why do you have a TV? Why don't I buy you a TV?
I'm sure you get your own legal pads and stuff like that.
It's deductible, your computer. You can buy one. It's okay. I mean, you're saying, hey, why doesn't the company buy me... That's like saying, why doesn't the company buy you a car? You have to get to work.
I'm not saying, why doesn't the company buy me a computer? I have a computer that works perfectly fine. You've just put on a system... You've given us a system that it doesn't work with. And I'm not the only one. And I'm not the only one having trouble with it.
Who else is having trouble?
Einzinger's had trouble with it because he's got a Mac. John has had some trouble with it because he's got a Mac. And up until recently, Fred has had some trouble with it.
So why don't you go get an IBM? Or get an IBM compatible?
Because I just didn't... I think this will work, and I don't want to have 2 computers. Howard, I don't have the kind of room that you have in the house.
Yes, you do. You just put a... what kind of house did you buy?
Howard, I don't live in a shack, but it just seems ridiculous.
Everyone was coming...
There's a computer tech.
Everyone was coming up to me on the weekend and said, what kind of house did Gary buy?
Right, I thought that too, that there's not enough room for 2 computers.
Yeah, I said, I don't know. He bought a treadmill.
What else do they have?
He got a treadmill, and that went in the house. Why?
And they're having another baby.
Right,
yeah.
So that takes up all the upstairs.
Well, where do you don't have a flat surface to put a computer?
We keep our office in the basement. John's seen it, I'm sure.
Right. You don't have room for a second... John, he doesn't have room for a second computer?
Oh, no, you definitely have room for one. But, I mean, Gary, I'm just going to tell you that I just put the guy at CompuSA that who will, if you want me, you can do an appearance for the computers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the guy doesn't have money. He keeps saying, gee, the company should buy me a computer. And I'm like, well, they don't buy you a car. They don't buy you... I mean...
No, I don't, but this is different. I mean, I had a computer. I went out and invested in a computer because I needed to do work on this show, right, before we were on Lotus Notes.
No, you bought it for your wife.
Well, we bought it together, but I needed it as well.
Yeah.
So now you
need a different tool. Right.
I just think that's sort of odd.
Well, you bought a second computer. Why not buy one that was good for your work? And keep your wife...
I think this will be good for my work, and I have a backup option if it doesn't work.
All right.
I do. I have an opportunity to get a regular IBM PC if this doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
I just thought this would be the best thing, because then I could upgrade it for my wife's work.
Do you have a floor plan of your house? No, I'm saying bring it in. I'll help you pick a spot for your computer.
Howard.
I mean, I'll help you. I like helping
you. I'm sure I'll be right next to the toaster oven.
All right.
I can't believe they never meet at that computer and want to work at the same time.
I can't either. That's weird.
She works during the day. I don't usually get home till 5 at night anyway.
But what about on the weekends?
I don't need to go on it that much on the weekends, and she's not on it much on the weekends.
Really?
She does her week during.
I think you do need to go on the weekend, especially on Sunday night.
I was on it last night, but I only needed it for 20 minutes. I looked and.
But why take a chance? Why not just get an IBM compatible?
And because have your access all the time. Suppose something happens in the middle of the day on a day that you're off and your wife is working.
She'll get off.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, your work should take precedent over hers. You're the one paying the bills.
If it's really important, Robin, she never works on the kind of deadline where she can't get off the computer for half an hour to let me know.
I don't know. I just would have gotten it.
If your computer's...
Jackie, wouldn't you have gotten an IBM compatible?
And it's already working for her. She doesn't have a problem.
I could understand.
It was a great
opportunity with your Mac. His wife works on a Mac. I could understand not getting rid of the Mac and getting the IBM.
Yeah.
But if you have to get another computer,
right?
That's when you get the IBM.
It was a great opportunity to have it work and upgrade.
And you're right. Get a laptop.
You don't need two printers.
You don't need a whole. Yeah, you hook up your same computer to the same printer.
Can you hook up an IBM to an Apple printer?
I think you can.
You need some sort of...
You need an adapter.
Yeah, some sort of thing.
It's an AB
interface.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Like I said, I have a backup plan. It's not that big a deal.
All right. I don't know.
And then if it works...
It's the only thing that got me mad.
And then if it works this way, then everything's fine.
Okay.
Why don't you wait for it to not work to yell at me?
All right, I don't know. I would have tested it out, but, it's not important. Seriously, we communicate completely by computer.
Mm-hmm.
All of us. So, anybody who writes for the show.
But
Gary takes the stuff and then gets it produced.
And you should be able to do that at any time.
And that's what we're working on, Robin.
But your wife is working on the computer. It's not always available.
Yeah, and then your kids are going to need to use the computer.
It's never not available to me if I need it. You're making stuff up now. You're telling me.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you that I'm at work.
It will happen.
But
you might go on it a lot more. You might go on it a lot more if you can just pop on without any hassle.
It's not a problem when I get home at night.
Really?
By the time I get home, 5 or 6 o'clock at night, she's just not on it. You guys are like...
What about on the weekend?
You guys are, she doesn't...
What if you have a day off?
Suppose
you guys are just looking... I know, but you're looking for all these what ifs. And it's
Saturday and Sunday?
We've been on... Then she'll get off. Robin...
No. Suppose one of these days she has a deadline, and all of a sudden she needs to work on that computer 12 hours
it's
at
true.
a time.
Suppose I get into the bathtub and slip on soap.
But you gotta suppose these things and make sure they don't...
See, I would have bought a laptop. I would have bought a laptop, an IBM compatible laptop, put Lotus Notes on there, and let your wife work on the Apple.
And I may still do that if I need to, but I like working on the Apple, to be quite honest.
What's the difference?
I just like it better.
All you need is Lotus Notes.
You just haven't tried the PC.
Lotus Notes is Lotus Notes. There's no difference what computer it's on.
I understand. Howard, I'm working it out. All right.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like you are.
You're picking and you're looking for something that's not there.
Okay.
What if all the planets line up and my wife has to work in 5 minutes?
That isn't the same thing, but okay. Never mind. That's cool.
What if
do what you want. Tell me when you can do your work.
What if I get this new computer and everything works great? Then what happens?
Fine. But what if it doesn't?
One of these days your wife will
I've got to work
you
out.
will need it at the same time.
All right.
Robin, you are...
I agree with you. I don't know why you'd want it. Computer's such a guy thing. I wouldn't even want to share my computer with my wife. I just want her doing her own thing and let me just be on my thing.
I live alone and I have 2 computers.
I know.
One for you and one for the cat?
Why not?
One upstairs and one downstairs.
Wait till she's working on graphics and it crashes.
Right.
It doesn't crash, Jackie.
Oh, it doesn't crash.
My wife knows how to do graphics correctly.
It's got nothing to do with her talent.
Of course it does.
The computer.
Who's questioning her talent? It's got nothing to do with
No, just saying that her computer doesn't crash. She knows what to do.
What is the computer? How does the computer know she's working it?
Yeah.
No.
It crashes for you.
Overload something and computers crash. I never had trouble with my computer crash.
Really?
Never.
Okay.
It's never crashed.
Really?
And I've never been in a plane accident.
That's why you got a new one. All right, good. Listen, I don't care. Do whatever you have to do. All I know is it turned into a huge fight.
See, now Jackie's mad at me. Now Jackie's going to imitate me.
My wife knows how to use her computer. It's got nothing to do with who's using it. It can happen.
But it
It's an
happens.
accident.
You know what?
Jackie's mad that his computer crashes.
You mean you're the only guy whose computer never crashes?
Jackie's mad.
It's never crashed, but it can happen, I'm saying.
That's because Jackie's downloading these disgusting pictures off the internet that are these huge files. That's why his computer crashes, and he's blaming it on me.
Never crashed.
Which, by the way, Jackie, stop sending me dirty pictures.
I haven't sent you one in a year. Are you complaining?
Yes.
I haven't gotten any. I am complaining.
I haven't sent any.
Why have you stopped?
Right.
At first it was,
Because Gary doesn't want them. I do.
All right.
Hey, by the way,